Hello and welcome. I'm Anna, and today we want to talk about something that affects hundreds of millions of children and young people around the world. A challenge that doesn't make the news as often as it should, but shapes the future of education in profound ways: the digital divide. Picture this. Two students wake up on the same morning to start the school day. The first opens a laptop, connects to a live class, and submits a project she finished the night before using an online library. The second walks nearly an hour to reach a school with no electricity, shares a worn-out textbooks with 30 other students, and has never used a computer in her life. Same generation, completely different worlds. The digital divide is a growing gap between those who have reliable access to technology, the internet, and digital skills, and those who do not. According to International Telecommunication Union, approximately 2.9 billion people worldwide still have no internet access. And of the children who are out of school globally, around 48 million, the majority lives in countries where digital learning is simply not an option. This is not just a technology problem, it is an education problem. As we will explore today, it is also a problem of deep inequality. That's why we'll be connecting this challenge to two of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. SDG 4, which calls for equality education for all, and SDG 10, which aims to reduce inequality within and between countries. I'll hand it over now to Constanza, who will walk us through the analysis.
Thank you, Anna. Let's look more closely at how the digital divide connects to SDG 4, quality education. SDG 4 asks us to ensure inclusive, equitable, and quality education for every person by 2030. But when a student in a rural village has no internet connection, is cut off from the largest library of learning resources humanity has ever created. When a teacher in a low-income school has never received digital training, cannot prepare their students for a job market that increasingly demands digital skills. And when a government cannot close a financing gap estimated at over $100 billion per year for education, including digital infrastructure, the promise of SDG 4 remains out of reach. The pandemic made all of this painfully visible. When schools closed around the world, students with connectivity kept learning. Those without, often the most marginalized, fell behind in ways that experts say could take a generation to recover from. In fact, in 4 out of every 5 countries studied during the pandemic, measurable learning losses were recorded. The burden fell hardest on communities already struggling. Now, SDG 10, reduced inequalities, helps us understand why this happens. The digital divide doesn't fall randomly. It follows existing fault lines. It follows income. The world's poorest 50% own just 2% of global wealth, and that wealth gap translates directly into a technology gap. It follows geography. Rural and remote areas attract far less infrastructure investments than cities. It follows gender. In many low-income countries, girls are disproportionately denied access to devices and connectivity due to cultural norms. And it follows disability. Most digital tools are not designed with accessible features in mind. In short, the digital divide doesn't create inequality. It amplifies inequality that already exists, and unless we address it deliberately, it will keep doing so. Let me pass it to Diana, who will share some of the most promising solutions.
Thank you, Constanza. So what can actually be done? The good news is that solutions exist, and they are already working in communities around the world. First, communities learning hubs in part of East Africa and rural Colombia, shared centers powered by solar energy and equipment with office AI tutoring tools have both quality learning to areas where individual devices and broadband connections are simply not realistic. Students walk to the hub, access resource, and learn, no personal devices or data plan required. Second, low-tech and hybrid approach. Not every solution needs a smartphone, radio-based learning, SMS homework system, and printed QR code workbooks, and have provided highly effective in communities where basic phones are available but data coms are provided. So these approaches remind us that innovation doesn't always mean high tech. It means meeting learners where they are. Third, and perhaps the most powerful of all, investigating in teachers. A skilled teacher with a basic smartphone can deliver a dramatically better education than an untrained teacher with a full computer lab. Programs that trains educators in blending and in digitality inclusive teaching methods have shown measurement in parts, particularly in rural and underserved communities. And for open and education resources in local language, most high quality online content in English, which includes billion of learnings, building freely available multilingual content in languages like Shawai, Quechua, or Tamil, ensures that digital learning is generally accessible, not just theoretically. So let me close with this. The digital device is not an accident of geography or fate. It's the result of choices about who receive in business and whose children are considered worth the cost. SDG 4 gives us the vision and SDG 10 gives us the urgency. Every child left behind the digital world is a mind and a future that the world cannot afford to lose. Closing with this divide is not charity, it's a collective responsibility. So thank you for listening.